Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mental House with me, your illustrious host, Khadija. Okay, all right. I'm a little late on this one because I just kind of like wanted to soak up a lot of what y'all had to say about Reverend Jasper Williams, who I adore. Let's get that out right off the bat. And what I want to say to people, and then more specifically, black people, my clan, I should say, is because I am a part of the human family. And first, and from that becomes part of the human family, it comes what is my clan, okay? And what position do I play with that? In my opinion, the species is more of what the clan represents. You may have an enormous amount of birds, aviary, right? But you have different species of birds. You have robins, you have blue jays, you have cardinals, woodpeckers. You have some birds that are carnivores. You have the eagle, you have the hawk, so the vulture. However, they are all species of birds. And that's what I want you to think about when you think about us. Right now, my clan is not doing very well at all for numerous amounts of reasons. And the main one being is that we don't want to hear anything that negatively describes us. I mean, now, let's face it. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to hear anything bad, myself included. When someone points out my character, defects, or I mean that's a hard word, but my maybe my character or part of my behavior that they're uncomfortable with, and they bring that to me. As a sane and rational human being, I may not like what they say, but my job is to listen and then not try to think and outthink them while I'm listening. I'm supposed to give them my undivided attention and just see if anything in this conversation makes me uncomfortable. And y'all know what I mean by that is when you feel it in the pit of your stomach. So when you get a feeling in the pit of your stomach like, what that? And I want to hurry up and say something, because that's called a defense mechanism. And what it is it's coming alive inside of you. Now, I noticed that black people are quick to get mad when other black people, people that have sacrificed their lives, their time, and have actually given of themselves. Then when they would critique their own people begin to fall apart. They begin to get defensive and treat themselves the way they say that the dominant society treats them. They shut down. They don't want to hear it. They get defensive, and that's it. Shut the hell up. I'm going to sick a dog on you. And that's kind of like how y'all went at Jasper Williams. Because I wanted to be known. In my opinion, Jasper Williams gave us a horse pill. And for those of y'all who saying, well, why did he spend and take time at Aretha's funeral to do that? Because maybe that's where it should have been said. From my understanding, Aretha personally summoned Jasper Williams, who I'm very familiar with. Jasper Williams is a year younger than Aretha Franklin, and they are friends via their parents and uncles. So she knows what, usually when people talk this kind of stuff, and it's not by happenstance. It's because they talk it all the time. They live it. They walk it. They drink it. They're not new to it. They're true to it. So what happens is, Aretha, for all we know, could have said, well, I know what Jasper going to do. He going to go off. She could have said that to herself. Her sons, her nephews, her grandkids, they don't have a damn thing to do with that. I mean, they are part of Aretha, but they are not Aretha. Aretha was her own individual. Those are her offspring. Okay? Let's don't get it twisted. We are all offsprings of someone. But we have our own individual mindset. My daughter is an offspring of me. But some things we share a mentality that are alike, and there are some things that we are totally maybe opposite on. So that's fine. Okay, so I want to make it known, first of all, that because her kids said it, and because her kids sold out the Reverend Jasper Williams in that way, I don't want that to have any more validation and make it weigh any more than some other pickaninny saying it. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but what I see is for you to betray Jasper that way. Pastor Williams did what Aretha asked him to do. She didn't know where the eulogy was going to go, but she trusted him to say it. And for those of y'all who saying he made it about him, he made it about black folk. And that's why Aretha stayed right there in Detroit with all those black folk. The one who robbed her sons in the gas station. I'm sure she'd even had issues in her family where family members burnt down property, if I recall, allegedly. So y'all don't really know what dynamics was actually going on with Aretha and her family, but I know that if she trusted Jasper Williams to do her eulogy, you can rest assured that she didn't know pretty much what he gonna say, or around what area and what he'll talk about, and she respected that. And maybe she know because of the love that she had for y'all, that she might know that because all of you will be gathering and will be on her as the queen of soul, then she was gonna give you a pill that was hard to swallow. And let me tell you something. This is when you know you're crazy. You can't say nothing to black people. We're emotionally retarded. You can't even tell somebody, don't get me wrong, I'm talking about my clan now. I want to keep it right here because y'all seem to have a problem with this. You have a problem with people and us even calling out our dysfunction. What the hell is wrong with you? But then, how stupid do you think it looks that when the police go out there and shoot you, then you want to all jump up and everybody want to be unified? Let's get the police. And if you get anybody to co-sign that madness, that's on y'all. That's why you'll never get nowhere. We ain't never gonna get nowhere with that shit. Ever, 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 ever. Because you're not taking any kind of responsibility for what your role is in the madness. And until you can man up, woman up, and take full responsibility, we're going to stay in mental and anguish and bondage, and ain't nothing going to get us out of it. We're worse than the children that was in bondage back in Egypt. We've gone so far now in decadence, and then because we don't want to hear it. We just want to be able to say, no, this is what white people do to us. No, this is what everybody know what they done. Everybody know. Everybody know about the Atlantic slave trade. Everybody know about the the indigenous people that were here before the white man brought his ass over here. Everybody knows the story. Okay? How he conquered, wiped out a whole nation of Native Americans. Then he made treaties with them that he doesn't honor. So that's first and foremost. Everybody knows the wickedness of the society that we're living in. That's not a secret. And it's out of this wicked Babylonian clandestine country that the fruit that grow out of it is narcissistic, insane, and oppressive. And it is so oppressive that the oppressor feels that the oppressed should love the oppression. That's how insane this society that we call a melting pot is built on. So within all that construct, we got to zoom in to African Americans, or what some of y'all call descendants of slaves, whatever we call ourselves, coloreds, the ones that helped build America, because we wasn't the only ones that built it, but we built it. We built it. We built the White House. What represents America? Yes, we did. Every bit of it. But with that being said, we have to be able to take it. Since we don't want to appear insane. If we don't want to appear insane. If we don't, because Willie Lynch said we will be perpetually miserable. Remember? He said, if you would imply this method of teaching gentlemen, and you imply it on your slaves today, and don't try it for 10 years and 5 years, this is what you do. You would have them insane, perpetually miserable for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. Look at the plan. Did it work? Yes. Was it successful? Yes. So first of all, if you're not even going to be honest with that part of it, then how are we even going to talk to each other? We got people in this community that are destructive, that are shooting babies. I'm not talking about what's going on and my thoughts about what's happening in Chicago and what's helping that situation over there in terms of the Mexican cartels. It's a lot more bigger than black people that's doing it. They just using that as the catalyst ground, the stomping ground for where it's going to jump off at, in my opinion. Okay? What we got to understand is there's a destructive element in our community that we just cannot afford anymore. And y'all going to have to talk about it. Y'all know Pookie, LaQuanda and them. Y'all know what's happening on the block and what they doing. Y'all know they robbing people, breaking in their houses. Y'all know exactly. And some of them is in our families. And we hide, we make excuses. And they doing destructive stuff to innocent people in our community. And we don't want to deal with that. We don't want to deal with the fact that we got a liquor store or on every fucking corner in a church. We don't even want to deal with that craziness. But we want to get mad at Jasper Williams for pointing out our ills as a community. He didn't do it because he's a mean man. He did it because he loved you. When you love somebody, you got to tell them the truth. I love you. So I'm saying the truth as I see it. Y'all just don't want to hear it. Because I'm in it too. By the way. And every time somebody said with single mother, if the shoe fits, I want you to wear it and wear it good. As Tony says. But if it don't fit you and you know that you're not a hood rat, you know damn well you're not one of these people that have just pushed out children like you pushed a rock and throw it across the lake. You know exactly what he's talking about when he's talking about the single mothers, the unproductive mothers, the mothers that you see on the corners that will challenge men to fight. I mean, y'all know who I'm talking about. The hood rats, the kind that come up on your porch and talk crazy to 50 and 60 and 70-year-old women. There's an element in our community that is out of control. They out of control. And then they got the nerve to be somebody's parents. Nobody want to talk about the crack babies that are now grown up. Nobody want to talk about that. We know we had an epidemic of crack, right? So what in the hell make you think that the residue of all that damn drug use is not running rampant in our community? What the hell wrong with y'all? And what's wrong with somebody saying it? I know where it came from. I know what the white man doing because they got opioid crisis. That I understand. Listen, he always gonna look out for himself. But I need you to understand that we are prisoners of war. And until you accept that, Maybe your what do you call it? Your motive operandi will change. Once you accept your lot, you are a captured prisoner of war. By virtue of you being here is a crime. You're kidnapped. Okay? And now you have been made the scapegoat of all America. That alone, not just America, and in some places abroad. There's a disconnect between a lot of us and our people over in the continent. Because if it was as strong as it needed to be, they wouldn't even do this to us. Okay? Yes, some of them sold us here. That's why we got here. Whether they knew that we would be involved in chattel slavery and how bad it was going to get, it doesn't matter. They sent their kids away. All right? And we over here now. Through no fault of our own. But I tell you what is a fault of our own now. I don't give a damn if they plant a damn truck in the middle of the neighborhood with millions of pounds of drugs inside of it and guns. I'm not going to take it and load up and go and shoot and kill somebody that looks just like me, who ain't got shit, just like I ain't. Okay? So until you can understand you've been trained to do that, you can't even take the stuff that they can park UPS trucks out in the middle of a hood with nothing but carbines and AK-47s and everything in them. And guess what we'll do? We'll get them not to take over ourselves, to defend ourselves. Here's what we'll do. We'll take it to ruin the neighborhood, take over territory. Tell me, you selling dope on my block. You ain't gonna go after the dominant, the real enemy, even if he gave you the weapons himself. So don't get mad at Jasper because we can't handle the truth. We can't handle it. But it's all right. It's all right. When you're able to handle it, only then will we be able to move forward. And that's my opinion. And guess what? I'm sticking to it every day. All right, y'all. I'll see you in the next video.